everyone. When I was asked to speak at my alma mater's graduation, I have to admit that I was very scared, but I was honored. I told all my friends, my family, that we, myself, my sister, and brother, were going to speak at Chicago Vocational, the place where we received outstanding education. But in preparing for my speech, I had to reflect on my experience as a CBCA graduate. We called it CBS back then, sorry. Some 20-something years ago. And sitting right to where you sit, and I remember two things I wanted from my guest speaker. One, I wanted my speaker to say something profound and memorable and give me something to think about. Two, I wanted him to be brief. Now, I cannot remember which order I wanted first. Maybe it was the latter one, I really don't know, but I just remember those are the qualities that I wanted from my guest speaker. So with that said, and taking that into consideration, I want to talk to you about love. The first quality in taking the lead, L, is for love. First of all, if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. Now, I know this is not a new revelation, of course. I mean, we've all heard this before. Some of us sit in Sunday school and church every Sunday, and we know that the second greatest commandment is like the first. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. But after it's all said, do we really, truly believe that? Now, I'm not going to preach religion to you, but I am going to get a little spiritual. In Matthew 22, 37 through 40, in part, it says, love the Lord God first, then love us next. When those two are in line, everything else flows. I can love my family genuinely, I can love others, and I can love my community. The bottom line, love is action, and it's a commitment. Everything based on love must have commitment, or it will crumble. Think about your relationships. If your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend says that he or she loves you, don't believe a word they say. Not one word. Look at their commitment to you. Look how they act towards you. If it's just physical, then it's not love. If it's out of selfishness, that's not love. If it's going to compromise your morals and make you pay a consequence that is going to put a limit on your mobility for a significant amount of time, that is not love. Love prevents us from choosing and doing foolish, dangerous, and violent acts towards another. Why? Because I know that I am fearfully and wondrously made by God. And when I truly experience this, then I know that God made Mercedes Wright too, fearfully and wonderfully. God made Jamar Washington fearfully and wonderfully. God made us all fearfully and wonderfully in his image. It has nothing to do with looks or ability. Being fearful and wondrously made is who you are on the inside, your character. When I have a healthy inner disposition about me, I become an attraction magnet. People like being around those who make them feel good about themselves. Now, is everyone going to love you because you choose to work on you? Of course not. You will probably lose friends in your growing process, and that's okay. And perhaps it's a good thing. It's unrealistic for me to expect that everyone's going to love me. However, as I build up my character and focus on God and those God-given qualities, people will respect you, even if they don't like you. And respect of self is worth more, much more than anything I could gain by losing it.
All right.
We are worth it.
Yeah.
Love is also courageous. It allows you to say no to those things that would hurt you and others. Don't let anyone fool you. It's easy to follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing. Hanging out on the corners, not looking for a job to support yourself, walking aimlessly through the neighborhood looking for trouble, getting into trouble. That's easy. But it takes courage to step away from the crowd and be your own person. Courage is going to school despite no one in your family ever graduating from college. Courage is also starting your own business or becoming the president nominee of the United States when everybody says that that is a stupid idea and no one has ever done it before. Courage is also getting good grades, and listening to your teachers, despite the fact that you may be well on your way to be the next Beyonce or LeBron James, because you know that you need something else to support you after your fabulous career in music and sports is over. So no, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage simply means that despite your fears, you step out there anyway and take a risk. One of my favorite quotes, and you're probably familiar with this, is from Coach Carter and also Akeelah and the Bee. And it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So sometimes our fear is rooted in, wow, I can be something different than what I see every day. And sometimes that is scary because it's unknown and unfamiliar territory. But what if I fail and fail and fail and fail again? Then what? Well, what we don't know sometimes is that our failures are actually preparing me for success. Each time I learn a valuable lesson couched in failure, which prepares me to receive the success when it happens. How? Well, it's a journey. Indeed, loving myself is definitely the start of the process. But what further propels love into action and purpose is the E and A of lead. Empowerment and affirmation of ourselves and others so they can be all that they want to be. And here's my sister, Cecily.